All right, guys, welcome back. Silent Wave 5 here with another video for you today. And today we are taking another look at PARTAY's Vega from the PSP lineup. $60 product that I purchased almost a year ago and did an initial review. Now, I've had this product painted on my 85-inch manual pull-down screens from Elite Screens, and I've had it down here in my space for all that time. And one thing that makes a product stand out long-term and makes it a real value for the price is the longevity of it, the quality of it. Does it hold up? Does it keep up? Has there been any issues? Oftentimes we focus on the right now when you first get it and the first impressions and all that stuff, but what about now after almost a year of having this product down here in my space? Do I regret it? Has there been any issues? Has the product quality seemed to fade? Has there been anything that would stick out that would make me put up a red flag about buying something like Vega for new customers? The answer is very simple. The answer is no. I have not had any quality issues with this screen whatsoever or the product that's coated on it. It's been down here in my space and I've used it continuously for a year, not every day, not even every week, but every time I've needed to come down here and watch a movie or get away from the kids for a few minutes and just watch some YouTube or whatever the case may be, the product has held up with all the lights on in my space, which I have on right now. You see the lamp next to the screen. Yes, it's a low ambient light environment, but what perspective am I looking at projection from? Now, for me personally, projection has always been tied to my love of cinema, movies. I have certain genres that I like, certain directors that I follow, certain actors that I follow. I'm a movie buff. So for me, getting into projection was because of movies, was because of movie making and certain stories that I wanted to see in the big screen that I never got the chance to. And that's what inspired me to make this space today. Now, my perspective, my lens that I look at through projection from is not the same as everybody else. Everybody else has slightly different versions of their room or takes on how they're going to use the space, and that's okay. And the good thing about that is that today's technologies, whether it's screen technology or projector technology or streaming capabilities or even the types of movies that we have today, in terms of how much data and how uncompressed they can be, is that there's so much variety. There's literally something for everyone. Gaming, TVs, TV replacement, traditional home cinema, like the big real deal situations where people have, $1 million invested in their space. To each their own, right? So I'm looking at this from the perspective of somebody who loves cinema and uses this product when I have a chance to, when I can come down here and enjoy a movie or a flick or something that catches my eye and I want to experience it down here in my space. Remember that the screen is one piece of a much bigger puzzle down here. The screen size, the screen itself, the coating, the projector, the speakers, my subs, even my player, everything is working in tandem to give me what? An immersive experience. A screen is a very important part of that puzzle, and in this situation, under this circumstance, Vega from the PSP lineup from the company PARTAY for $60 has offered me non-stop quality since I've been using this product. Oftentimes when we do reviews, and I did so with a lot of the products that I've covered over the lifetime of my channel, is how do you feel right now? What's your first impressions, and what can it and can it not do out of the can when we're talking about screen paints? But where are things at after a year? And they're quite good. You can see that the colors are very natural. You can make up all the excuses in the world. You're in a low ambient light environment. I've already explained that. Your projector is calibrated. It's not actually calibrated. It's called picture adjustment, right? There's a difference between calibrating and adjusting the picture to get the best possible image quality for you, right? Now, I have a little bit more knowledge in that area because I've done a lot of research on it. I know that 9 times out of 10, if you want the most accurate picture out of the box, putting it in cinema or custom is more than likely going to get you as far as the display, whatever TV or whatever projector you have can offer you. That's going to be the closest. Hardly ever, if not never, is vivid or dynamic the most accurate. But it doesn't have to be, because you're the one that makes the judgment call on what benefits you in your space. But just keep in mind that certain types of screen will require you more often than not, to adjust the picture setting to fit the requirements of the screen, especially if you're going darker. Going darker, you're going to need more lumens. You're going to need a brighter color palette, higher color temperature to give you a little bit more oomph out of it. That's just the way that it is. I can accept that. There are trade-offs in everything when you're setting up a space. But for me, Vega has been a very positive experience for $60 on my simple 85-inch manual pull-down screen that had a great white surface, by the way. And some would argue that a white surface down here would be absolutely the right call for my conditions. But I made the call to paint this, and I don't regret it. I do not regret it one bit. It's offered a little bit more depth and a little bit more richness where the white screen couldn't, even in a prime sort of situation environment that I have down here. So it's worked out quite well, and works well with the JVC, which is only, 1300 lumen projector. And I have it in low mode, and it's probably only getting about 1000 to 1100 lumens at the screen. But I'm utilizing this piece of the puzzle in my entire setup to give me that immersive experience, which is the end goal. We can focus on projectors all day, or we can focus on screens all day, or we can focus on speakers all day, every day, or whatever it is. But really, it's an embodiment of everything that you have in your space that gives you the total experience. But if I'm just narrowing it down to price, to performance, to ease of use, to quality over a long-term period of time, which is almost a year now, Vega has met and exceeded my expectations. And it's readily available even today for $60. Now, you can listen to other raving lunatics like Kenneth Bird over at whatever the name is of his new company, and he could put a bunch of halo effects and LEDs around a screen and set the room up just right, and the camera up just right to be able to show you something. And he's going to tell you a lot of gibberish and turn it into a personal story about how everybody attacks him, and not necessarily talk about the products. We can make up all these names for gain and infusion and energy, and what the fuck does he know about any of those things? Has he got a fucking doctorate in fusion energy? Or are we just cherry picking names that you think is gonna trigger somebody into an impulse buy? Because a lot of that gibberish and everything he does is meant and geared towards the naive, the quickly impulsed people that are, I gotta have this is it. This guy knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And at the end of the day, you may or may not like it. It's up to you. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, I'm sorry. But just keep in mind that those products never last. He's always reinventing the wheel, reinventing the company, changing the name. But I've watched those videos for years now. Let me tell you, there is literally no iota of a difference on camera that I can see between those products. And again, ask yourself the question, why are we not comparing the new product to the old product side by side so you can actually actively see the improvement in that technology? Does the new fusion energy gain make a difference over the last quasar gain, or what the fuck is going on there? How do we know that there is actual improvement from one product line to another? That's never shown, never talked about, nobody's ever asked about it, and there's still no definitive answer. But I can tell you by my eye, by my seasoned eye, by watching those videos, as long as I have, unfortunately, that I don't see any difference. I still see the same dull, faded, darkened image that I always have under ridiculously manipulated circumstances and environments, and a lot of gibberish and a lot of jabberjawing to go along with it. At the end of the day, it is what it is, as he would say. But with a product like Vega that's only going to cost you $60 if paint is the way that you're going. Because remember, we're in a world of variety here, not just in screens, screen sizes, screen technologies, projector technologies, projector types. I mean, literally, we're in a world of variety right now within the world of projection. So maybe fabric is your option. It's going to fit your circumstances better. Maybe finding a solid surface on your own is going to make a difference. Maybe making your own screen paint is going to make a difference, or maybe buying something like PARTAY's Vega is exactly what you need for your space. Maybe what you need for your space and your conditions is just a simple white screen, and you know what? Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You're good to go. You can get something like these Elite screen manual pull-down screens, for fairly cheap, and they hold up. They're pretty decent quality, and they provide a really good image in the right environment. With any projection setup, you are piecing together a conglomerate of devices and environments and technologies in order to get you where you want to go. Maybe your setup right now isn't exactly where you want to go, but you know where you need to go. And having a little bit of knowledge and asking the correct questions and really putting the work in, you can end up with a really nice setup. Now, nothing in my setup is outrageously expensive. It took a lot of time to get there. I've had really expensive technology in my space, really expensive projectors. But look where I'm at now. I'm at a very entry-level setup for this space, and it suits me just fine. Now, I know that Kenneth Berg gets hung up on certain resolutions and certain costs and things like that. I know that when I'm not doing a streaming thing like this, where there's compression artifacts and internet connection problems and yada, 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 and I put in an actual Blu-ray disc at 1080p, 24 frames a second, I know that I'm getting really fantastic quality. That paired up with my sound system and the speakers all around the room and all that stuff, I am in literal movie heaven for my space. And PARTAY is a big piece of that puzzle. And I'm also happy that I didn't have to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It only cost me $60 on a screen that I got for about $160. And that was new, it was on sale. My projector, 2013-2014 JVC, meant for home theater, built for home theater use. Paid $800 for that. Put a new bulb in, that was about $250, $300. And I haven't touched it since. So all in all, not a bad little setup for the image quality that I'm getting. And the product is holding up for a long period of time with no issues. And I can have these lights on in the room where in my eyes, I can see everything in the room. Everything is illuminated. I'm not bumping into shit. I'm not in total darkness. But if I want total darkness, this screen's really going to light up and draw me in. The sound, the visuals, the art of cinema is going to draw me into that story, and that's what I want for my space. Basically, ask the right questions, do your research. You don't have to go balls out, super expensive stuff. You can be creative, and there's ways of doing that. But knowledge is your greatest ally when you're putting together a space. Long-term, PSP lineup holds up, quality holds up, price holds up, the value holds up, and that's all we have to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, let's not kid ourselves here. We'll catch you on the next trip. Later.